This is just bigotry. His material support for terrorism, is it because his first name is Zohran and his last name is Mamdani? Breaking news, everybody. The Republican Party is filled to the brim with racists and bigots. It's not funny, but it's funny that I say it's breaking news to explain the joke that I don't think needed to be explained. Andy Ogles, once again, is trying to crawl up inside of Donald Trump's butthole and make him the happiest congressman he could possibly be. Andy Ogles is a congressman from Tennessee who has now sent a letter to Pam Bondi, and he tweeted about it, so proud of it, trying to revoke the citizenship of Zohran Mamdani, who is now the Democratic nominee to be mayor of New York City. Let me start here real quickly. The Republican Party, they are just replete with liars who act as though being an American is special. I just talked yesterday about Pete Hegseth giving his press conference at the Pentagon talking about why doesn't the media just stop reporting all the news and just talk about how special America is? And if America is special, that means it's comprised with special people who make it special. Therefore, citizenship is special. It means something. It's important. Apparently not to Republicans, though, because all you have to do to have someone send a letter to the Attorney General of these United States trying to investigate in order to have someone's citizenship revoked is be a Democrat. Which is also interesting because didn't Donald Trump run on trying to stop the weaponization of government? And here we have a seated United States congressman pressuring Donald Trump's Attorney General, requesting that they weaponize the government. And not in some prosecutorial way, but to revoke the special citizenship of an American who is now the Democratic nominee to be the next mayor of New York City. Does it not smack of hypocritical to you? This is what Andy Ogles tweeted. And by the way, on this Zohran Mamdani thing, point to me one thing that he has said or done or a policy that is dangerous, that is going to have deleterious effects on the city of New York or the country for that matter. As far as I can tell, and I've done some research, it looks like he wants to give the power back to the people. I would challenge, I'm going to read this tweet, but I want to challenge you on this. If you have a problem with him because he calls himself a democratic socialist, don't worry about the labels and what scary socialist. Don't fall into that Republican trap, because Republicans want to call themselves conservative. What the hell does that even mean, conservative, anymore? The days of a Mitt Romney conservative or a John McCain conservative are long behind us. These labels don't mean anything. Listen to what he wants to do, what he wants to achieve as mayor for the people of New York City before we start casting aspersions based on whatever democratic socialist means today versus what it meant 10 years ago versus what it'll mean next week. This is what Andy Ogles tweeted. Zohran Little Mohammed Mamdani is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. New York City, just before the election, was a wretched, crime-ridden hellhole. And now it's a great American city, an iconic thing we should cherish and preserve. These fucking people are liars. They have no North Star. Their North Star is the shape of the pumpkin head that rests atop Donald Trump's shoulders. That's the North Star. Whatever's rattling around inside of his empty dome, that's their North Star. That's what they follow. That's what they try to impress. Continuing with the tweet about the great city of New York, he needs to be deported, says a sitting United States congressman about a citizen of these United States, which is why I am calling for him to be subject to denaturalization proceedings. Attached is my letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, yesterday, Mamdani was on CNN talking to Aaron Burnett. And I'm going to play two clips, very brief clips. This one is less than a minute. The other one is literally just a few seconds. And again, this is the guy who's so dangerous to the Republican Party and to some Democrats. The governor of New York acting like a dumb asshole about it. Andrew Cuomo, you know, he took a break from being a sexual predator of women to concede, and then he's reconsidering. Who knows what's going on with that? But Eric Adams, the indicted, and then had the investigation and the case thrown out by Donald Trump so he could assist ICE in a mass deportation Nazi-like effort to rid the country of brown people. He's now going to run as an independent. It just smacks of panic. And for what? Because this guy wants to run for office? Because this guy wants to be the next mayor of New York City?
So what do you say to people who look at your background and they wonder? They say, okay, rising star you may be, but this is the largest city in America, $112 billion budget, 8 million people, and a hell of a lot of problems. And they say, okay, whatever the future may be, you're not ready now.
I would say that a campaign offers a glimpse of what an administration would look like. And we built a campaign the likes of which the city has not seen in a long time. We started with 2 full-time employees and now are managing 50,000 volunteers. At the beginning of this race, there were questions of whether we'd get 50,000 votes. And yet we had 50,000
volunteers.
50,000 volunteers who knocked on 1.5 million doors, made 2.1 million phone calls. And ultimately, it's a story of not only being able to inspire people, but absorb that inspiration and build an organization. And I think that's also the story of what it means to run a city, that you are ultimately responsible, but you're also determined by hiring the best and the brightest. And that's what I will be doing in City Hall. I'll be hiring those that have a clear track record of excellence, of results that come from a wide variety of mayoral administrations, and finally bring public excellence back into the public sector.
Yeah. Show me where the danger lies. Come on. This is all rooted in bigotry, in Islamophobia. There are no religious tests to office in the United States as established by the United States Constitution. It doesn't matter whether he's little Muhammad. I mean, this is all just post 9/11 fear mongering, just rearing its ugly head again. And look, as far as the label of Democratic Socialist, Aaron Burnett drilled down on this with him, asked him the question, gave him the opportunity to talk to the American people about it and the people of New York City. And this is what he said. This is what is so scary to so many people, that they want to decimate his very special citizenship over it.
And I'm curious what you think this means. I mean, do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism. And I think ultimately the definition for me of why I call myself a democratic socialist is the words of Dr. King decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. And that's what I'm focused on, is dignity and taking on income inequality. And for too long, politicians have pretended that we're spectators to that crisis of affordability. We're actually actors, and we have the choice to exacerbate it, like Mayor Adams has done, or to respond to it and resolve it, like I'm planning.
And that is why Andy Ogles sent this letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, writing, "Dear Attorney General Bondi, I write to request that the Department of Justice open an investigation into whether Zohran Mamdani, currently a candidate for New York City mayor, should be subject to denaturalization proceedings under 8 U.S.C. blah, 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 on the grounds that he may have procured U.S. citizenship through willful misrepresentation or concealment of material support for terrorism." This is just bigotry. His material support for terrorism, this 30-something, young, bright, dynamic, congenial dude who's running for mayor has given material support for terrorism. Is it because his first name is Zohran and his last name is Mamdani? You fucking hillbilly dipshit, Andy Ogles. Is that what it is? That's why you want him stripped of citizenship of these United States? You fraudulent turd. You ass-licking goon of Donald Trump. I got to pass a bill to make Greenland great again. Oh, we got to change the Constitution to allow Donald Trump to have a third term in office. We want to have Donald Trump be on the $250 bill. Why don't you focus on those priorities, dipshit, and not on your continued racism and Islamophobia and just general bigotry and hatred of brown people? One more paragraph and then we'll wrap this. According to public reports, including a June 21, 2025 New York Post article, he's going to the Fox News well to justify an investigation. Ugh. Mr. Mamdani expressed open solidarity with individuals convicted of terrorism-related offenses prior to becoming a U.S. citizen. Look, this is all just one trying to fall into the favor of the man who really runs Donald Trump, and that's Bibi Netanyahu, the Trump-like character in Israel. This is just gross. Is he that dangerous? Is democratic socialism that dangerous? I mean, is Sweden ruling the world with an iron fist because of their evil democratic socialism? Are they? Norway? Finland? Wow. I had no idea that we were not the dominant threat in the world, that our military wouldn't, oh my God, we're so scary and big and huge and powerful. It's them. They are the real danger to the planet. As will New York City when Mamdani is elected. I will be supporting that. I don't vote there, obviously. I live in Washington, D.C., where I don't have representation. See, democracy is so important to Republicans that they deny me a vote in Congress through representation. Anyway, what do you think? I would appreciate your feedback here. Comment below. You can call the voicemail line. There's a whole bunch of ways. Listen, the other day, Brittany Page and I, there are a lot of you who have questions about what took place with the rape and death threat against her and just a simple death threat against me by a Trump supporter. A lot of you were unhappy that we didn't give enough detail. Well, we gave a little bit more detail on a podcast called The Dangerous Ones. I'll link to it below. You should watch it. You should subscribe to it. They are a great independent media source, but also we explain a little bit what our decision was going into what we withheld and what we shared. And I would encourage you to both support them and subscribe to their channel, but check out the episode if you had questions. I'll see you next time. I look forward to your participation in this conversation. Be genuine. Take care of one another.